Hey book friends, it's Dustin from Modern Metaphysicae, and today I thought we could hang out and take a trip through the Book of Stones, Who They Are and What They Teach by Robert Simmons and Naisha Ahsian. I do believe that this author now goes by another name, so if you look for this book, this second author may have a different name now. As always, down in the description box below, you will find a link to where you can pick up a copy of this book for yourself, as well as links to all of my social media, and a link to my personal website where you can book a tarot reading with me, or even pick up some of my own handmade metaphysical goods. So be sure to check all that out at the end of the video. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and subscribe and click the little bell notification so that you don't miss any future book or tarot videos. So let's dive into this. A couple of lives ago, which I do live video streams every Sunday. If you want to come hang out and chat with me, that's a great place to do it. I had a bunch of people request suggestions for crystal books, and I decided I wanted to do just a little book review on my personal favorite crystal book, which is this one right here. I actually haven't had this book very long. For a long time, I used another book, but this one I stumbled upon when I was out and about with my mom, actually one day shopping, and we were in a metaphysical store, and I opened this book up and I saw this quote right here on the very first page, which reads, "In a crystal, we have the clear evidence of the existence of a formative life principle, and though we cannot understand the life of a crystal, it is nonetheless a living being." And that quote is by Nikola Tesla, who is just one of the most fascinating and enigmatic figures historically to me, especially because he lived in he worked and did a bunch of his experiments in the town that I grew up in. So I immediately had to pick up this book, and then I really kind of just fell in love with it. So the book is pretty simple. It's just a perfect bound paperback book. This is the revised edition. There is older editions of this that don't have quite as many stones in it. Obviously, the new edition has 76 new stones. And both of the authors for this book are very well-known and respected authorities on the metaphysical properties of crystals. And this book primarily talks about the metaphysical properties. If you're looking for a book specifically about identification, this book is okay for that, but really what this book is all about is the metaphysics behind all of the different crystals. So just keep that in mind. Inside, the book is a full color book, which is really amazing. It's printed on just really nice paper. It's a very large book. Just so you guys have a size comparison, let's grab a tarot card here. This is a tarot card, just so you guys have an idea of how big it is. It's a big book. And yeah, inside you'll find basically every crystal that you would ever really be curious about. Now, this book, of course, doesn't have like every crystal and mineral known to man, right? But the most common and the most accessible crystals and minerals you're gonna find in this, I promise. And as you can see, the table of contents is literally more like an index because it just lists out all of the crystals. And as you get into the book, you'll see that each crystal has a dedicated page with keywords, with elemental associations, chakra references. There's a brief sort of blurb about the identification and where the crystal usually comes from on the planet, and things like that. And then there's a whole chunk of text by Robert Simmons, and then a whole chunk of text by Naisha, which is really cool. So you get two different perspectives on the metaphysical properties of the crystal. The other thing that I really like is for most crystals, they will show a few different examples of what they look like. So what they look like in a raw form, what they look like in sort of a polished jewel form, or even like a tumbled form. It's not universal to all of them, but there usually are photographs of more than one example of the crystal, gemstone, or mineral that you're looking at. So it's really useful in that context. I I find a lot of the information in this to be very accurate. When I work with crystals specifically, I found that I tend to lean into Robert Simmons' interpretations a little bit more than Naisha's, but they're both really good, and they both offer really unique perspectives on crystal healing and crystal energies, working with the crystals in different ways and things like that, which is really wonderful. A lot of times when I'm doing my favorite videos, when I talk about a crystal favorite for the month and I talk about the metaphysical properties, I'm referencing this book, if you guys are wondering. So yeah, it's a really wonderful book. There are a few sort of synthetic crystals you'll find in this, so angel aura quartz, and it's funny because this is the first one that you come across in the book, and in here there's a little paragraph about like why they've chosen to include a few of these, and primarily the ones that they have chosen to include, specifically here with angel aura quartz. Angel aura quartz is electro treated with platinum. That's what gives it this sort of rainbowy effect on it, and the reason why they the reason why they like them basically is because they're treated with other minerals, so the minerals kind of enhance the properties. That's kind of the gist of it. But yeah, this is a really useful resource. The 95% of the book is literally just listings of all of the crystals alphabetically, and every crystal kind of has the same amount of space. You get the same elements, the keywords, the elements, the chakra associations, where the crystals come from, and then the two different perspectives from both of the authors, which is really cool. And yeah, I really enjoy this book. It's something that I reference time and time again. I actually bring this book with me when I go to gem shows and things like that, so that if I come across something I've never seen before, and I can look it up and see what the properties are and things like that, which is really cool. The other neat thing about this book is with crystals that can be heat treated and things like that. So specifically like citrine here, they talk about natural citrine and they talk about heat treated citrine. And so when you're crystal shopping and learning about different things, the energies between these two different crystals are distinct, and they do carry sort of different resonances. So the heat treated citrine actually usually comes from just quartz that's treated with heat, very high heat, in order to chemically transform it into citrine in a laboratory setting. So there's a lot of really good information in that regard in this book. So if you're looking for a really good resource about the metaphysical properties of crystals, working with crystals, things like that, I highly recommend this book. It is just so useful. It's the best one I found. The book that I mentioned in the intro there a little bit is the Book of Stones, Love is in the Earth by Melody, which she actually gave praise to this. The Book of Stones is filled with information and beauty, which I thought was really cool, because this is the book I used for years. And the thing about this book, the original book didn't have pictures in it. There is a version now with pictures, and there's also a separate book that has the pictures in it, if I remember correctly. But this completely just surpassed Melody's books for me. So this is my go-to, because it's everything in one nice, useful place. So yeah, if you're looking for a great crystal book, this is the one that I would highly recommend you start with. Obviously, there's a lot of other good resources out there, and I will continue to add little book reviews now and again of some of the other crystal books that I have, some of the ones that are specific to, say, identifying different crystals, minerals, and gemstones, books that are specifically more about the scientific aspects of crystals and minerals as opposed to the metaphysical and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed this little review. As always, remember, everyone is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. So be kind, always. Bye, everybody.